Good morning, everyone. It is a absolutely beautiful morning, about 65 degrees here at the Sundance Mountain Resort in Utah. Absolutely beautiful resort. Nissan invited me out here so I could spend some time in their all-new 2022 Nissan Frontier. There are quite a few other journalists out here, so they're getting all the trucks staged because we're going to be going on a relatively long road trip. We're going to go to an off-road course, and we're even going to be doing some towing. So I've been to the Tacoma as well as the Ford Ranger event, so I've had plenty of time to spend in those, as well as test-driven many Colorado and Canyon. So this is going to be a really interesting video because we're going to see just how those trucks hold up to the pack. So hang tight, I'll be right back.
When we were doing trucks back in the 90s, and even earlier than that, compared to today, it's changed. It's changed dramatically in the way a customer perceives what their truck needs to be. But you have some core aspects. What are you going to do? You're going to build a truck, it's going to be rugged, capable, utilitarian, and modern. The headlamps, the LED tail lamps on it. And he gave it that lifted kind of feel to the truck with a higher bed height to it. Even the design of how the spoiler comes in the back. And the heart of the truck is its powertrain. And you'll remember that in 2020, we introduced this new 3.8 liter engine. Now we couldn't wait. The new product was still 2 years away, but the engine was so good and the transmission was so good, we weren't going to wait. Anybody who's driven it will realize that. And when you drive it today, you'll see that. But it was uniquely tuned for 2022. We did some tweaking to it to meet the even better demands of the customer. Remember that, as a reminder, 93% of the parts were changed when we introduced the new motor, 99% wider gear ratio in the transmission, and dramatically improved acceleration. Don't be afraid to test it today. 310 horsepower, class-leading horsepower in that V6, and 281 pound-feet of torque. 1610 on max payload and 6720 on max towing. And we have standard swing control on all models. You can add that power, but now you got to get the power to the ground. And to do that, we still have our proven shift on the fly 4-wheel drive. Very competitive against the segment. And of course, you're still going to use it, right? Utilitarian part of it, both outside and inside. But on the outside, we still have a 5-foot and 6-foot bed available on the crew cab. All the king cabs will have a 6-foot bed. We increased the bed height by 1.4 inches. It, of course, adds to the design of it, but it's a lot of utility to it also. But we didn't go too far because we realized that customers needed to access the bed. You get that side too high, you can't really access anything. You can't reach anything from the side. So we were very cognizant of what we were doing, bringing that height up. Just not a truck anymore. Not only did you bring what you had with you in the vehicle, you expected to connect and do that seamlessly. And we've covered that. We have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto standard and 4 USB ports. The intelligent round view monitor, which is available, to give you a bird's eye view. We carried it over here. There's moving object detection. And also, you'll see when you're off-road in the low mode speeds, there's a display that comes up automatically to let you know what's ahead. And finally, Nissan Safety Shield, available on all grades. That includes the high beam assist, lane departure warning, rear cross traffic alert, rear automatic braking, blind spot warning, and auto emergency braking with pedestrian detection.
Okay, so we just finished the main presentation inside. Before we take off, I'm going to quickly take some shots here of some of the trucks that they have in the different colors. So a lot of new colors here. A lot going on. Which one's your favorite? If I haven't said it already, it is absolutely beautiful here. Check it out. I mean, when you're surrounded by mountains. You know, a lot of people prefer the beach, a lot of people prefer the mountains. When you spend enough time in either one, you generally prefer the other. And boy, it would be beautiful to live near this type of scenery every day. Okay, so I've already picked out my truck. And of course it has to be this one right here. But what I want to do, and I think is probably really important, is take a look at the numbers on this truck. So the cargo capacity on this truck is 1,020 pounds. Now keep in mind, this is a super high trim Pro4X four-wheel drive. If you get this thing relatively stripped out, I believe you can get this cab configuration at about 1,400 pounds, roughly, which still isn't that bad. And again, at a little over 1,000 pounds, that's going to be people in both the front and the back, as well as whatever you might have in the back of the truck. So always keep that in mind. Now, I do not know the towing capacity of this specific truck, so that has not been provided to me yet, but I definitely would like to know what the towing capacity on this is. Anyways, we're going to take off on a drive. I'm going to mount a GoPro in here and get everything ready so you guys can ride along. Okay, so we have the truck all started up. Love the fact that it has push-button start on it. This is a four-wheel drive version. You got 4 high, 4 low. Very cool truck. Has a very nice 9-inch navigation screen. So I believe this is class leading. At least at this point it is. Who knows, you know, by the time some of the other manufacturers come out with their trucks. But I have the map already up in place, and I'm going to get this thing kicked off so I know exactly where I need to be. But yeah, this is a very, very cool truck. Looking forward to seeing how it works on the road. So anyways, guys, we are going to hit the road. Got the GoPro mounted in place, and we'll talk to you here in a second. All right, so we are maneuvering out of the Sundance Mountain Resort at this point. I'm gonna try to catch up with some of these other trucks so I know exactly where we're going. We have navigation set up, and we have some paper maps and a drive route book, all this stuff, so hopefully I don't get lost. Very nice truck. I mean, the interior of this thing is beautiful. And I say that considering the fact that I've been in all of its competitors, and I can honestly tell you that I'm pretty impressed with the overall interior of this truck. You know, they did a great job with the dash layout, they did a great job with the air conditioning controls, everything. I mean, it has the look of a luxury SUV. You know, they've just really done a good job with the entire layout of this truck. I mean, everything's just really nice. Now, I can't talk about driving impressions yet because those are embargoed, so I won't have an opportunity to discuss that. But what I can tell you is that there's going to be a lot you're going to want to know, because the way they've set this truck up and some of the advancements they've made to it certainly are going to make it feel different than some of the outgoing models. And I definitely want to give you a better perspective of what that feeling is like once I am able to in another video. But in this video, we're mainly going to talk about what I like about it from an exterior perspective, what I like about it from an interior perspective, and what Nissan's doing in general with a truck like this that really makes it appealing. The first and probably foremost is the new look. I mean, a lot of folks definitely base part of their purchasing decision on how a truck looks. And I think that the folks at Nissan have done an outstanding job designing this truck to have its own bold identity, while at the same time kind of taking some cues that make other brands successful as well. And I'd have to say that about most brands. You know, most brands are looking for trends that people like in a truck, what they expect it to look like, and they're trying to kind of adapt the look of their truck to meet that need. Because again, if you're out there and you love the way the new Ranger looks, or you love the way the Tacoma looks, or, you know, a Canyon or Colorado, you don't want anything to be too dramatic of a shift if you're looking at another brand. You still want to say, okay, well, I liked these cues from that truck, but I like how this brand integrated it all into one single package. It's definitely a good evolution from the previous Frontier, and even the previous Frontier before that, because Frontier has been a very popular truck, and similar to the previous generation Super Duty, they didn't need to make a lot of changes because people still bought the truck. Even if it looked older, if it didn't look like it had the newest design to it, people were still really excited to get into these trucks. And I gotta be honest, I even like the whole look and feel of the previous generation Pro4X Frontier. That's a truck that I could see myself owning. I did a review on one, and I absolutely thought it was a great truck. I mean, there was so much to like. So today, the map is gonna take us to their four-wheel drive off-road course. Then after that, it's gonna take us to a towing course where you'll actually get to see this truck tow a trailer, which is gonna be nice. Now, I don't know specifically what type of trailer they have in store, but it's gonna be interesting to see, and I will give you my honest feedback on how it handles that type of weight. So this is our first stop en route to the off-road course. We are at Jordanelle State Park in Utah. This is absolutely amazing. Just a beautiful area. You can see all of the trucks parked here. They have a couple other SUVs there. It looks like a Rogue and a Pathfinder as well. And then they have the new Armada over there. Actually, they have one right here too. But this is simply a beautiful, beautiful area, surrounded by large hills. Gorgeous. They have everything set up here right now, and this is kind of the midway stop before you get to the off-road course that we're going to be going to. So just a quick place to grab lunch, use the restroom if you have to, then hop back in and take off. Okay, so we are going to do the off-road course. They are directing us where to go. Just got out here, so this should be fun. You can see here in the dash, it gives you all your off-road features and settings right here. Very cool. Lets you know kind of what's happening. You can see that the truck's currently in two-wheel drive, and then the four-wheel drive control is right down here. And this is the Wasatch off-road trail.
Hi there, if you want to throw it in neutral and then pop it into 4-low for us. All right, while that's shifting, you do have your hill descent control right here, and then your axle lock right underneath it. If you do start slipping, just throw it in. Or lock that rear end.
Okay, so we are taking off. So far, it's kind of a mild trail. Nothing too crazy and extreme yet. Currently in 4-low. All right, looks like we have a little offset here. Big bumps here. The guy in front of me really took off. Got some big bumps. And yeah, it's getting a little bit crazier up here. Let's try to find a fun line. Woo! Yeah, we're hitting some of this stuff pretty hard. Just hope that a truck in front of me doesn't decide to back up or roll down at any point. Oh, that's a skid plate getting hit. Caught up to the pack though. It's a cool trail. Let me know if any of you guys have ever been on this trail. I'd love to know. And in what type of vehicle. Now the only challenge I could run in here is if I have to stop. I'd be more concerned about popping a tire up here, really. Yeah, so now coming to kind of a stop, so this is interesting. All right, there we go. It's hard to tell you how steep this is, but it's pretty dang steep. we're getting much steeper up here, so. There we go. This trail is getting dusty. Okay. This is a pretty steep incline right here too. Again, none of this stuff ever shows up real well on camera. I can tell you that this would be pretty steep even if I was going down it on a mountain bike. I'm gonna cut off to the left here a little bit so I don't have to hit that boulder. So I have a guy just camped out up here just to guide people around that log. Whew, can't see anything right now. This is where a cabin filter comes in really handy. Get all that dust from coming in. Bit of a steep incline right here too. Well, that's it. What'd you guys think of that trail? And you know, it's kind of one of those things that it's hard to judge it unless you've actually driven it. But venture to say that a lot of folks would be very reluctant to take their vehicle up and down that trail, even if they consider it to be a pretty off-road capable vehicle. Anyways, guys, that's gonna wrap it up for this video. I sure hope you've enjoyed this ride along in this 2022 Nissan Frontier Pro4X 4-wheel drive, really cool compact pickup truck. Guys, if you haven't had a chance, please take a moment, subscribe to my channel, give me a thumbs up, and we'll talk to you again very soon.